Sometimes I feel like I'm a little spider just getting all muddled up in my own little web. Hello, lovely people. I have dressed up a little bit more today because I have so many fancy, fun pieces of jewelry. I never wear them. My name is Sam. This is Shadow Harvest. Let's talk about energetic connections. Grab a cup of something lovely. I have sparkling water in a goblet because it is fancy and fun, and I like it that way, and I need to hydrate. I had many a beer last night with a wonderful gentleman. But beer is not water, and hydration is key to keep all the witchery going. But I've been thinking more and more about energetic connections and keeping them, cutting them, and my personal thoughts in my craft and mulling stuff over. So this is gonna be a rambly, weird video. When it comes to casting magic, and especially anything to do with protection magic or magic that I feel like needs to be re-upped, I think in a sense, I have recently discovered that I, as a person, have been, for a bit, envisioning many threads kind of being cast out from myself in my meditations when I am focusing on a spell or any sort of energetic pull. Usually they are an interesting mix, I should say, of materials. Sometimes it's goldy, sometimes it's a little darker, a little more horroristic, I should say. I'm trying to figure out a way without triggering the algorithm to describe this weird thing. Anyway, it's a little icky and squishy tactile wise when I envision it sometimes. Other times it's very simple thread, a cord, a steel like thing happening. Lots of fun stuff in those envisionings. And I do a different type of material that I see every time I cast a spell, and I just kind of envision it coming out from me, going off to where I need it to, whether that's the protection wards in my home, the spells I've cast for friends, for family, or even into, whatever other spells and stuff I want. There's always a kind of tie to me. Until very recently, I did not consider that to be an issue. Until I started thinking about how many threads that I had connected to me. I was having a little bit of some anxiety dreams, I think, over the fact that I possibly am going to be moving again. I always get anxious when I travel. That's just a normal thing. It happens. We'll be doing some protection magics and communication, especially because of the eclipses and retrogrades and all of that happening right freaking now. Fantastic for me. In the dream, it was kind of like being tangled and being like pulled in multiple directions, very much like some medieval torture devices one might consider. And it was a very stressful dream of them, and I realized how many ways I had extended out my energies and myself. And I found it a very interesting dream because I had not had a really tactile, scary dream like that in a while, where it was so tied to a meditation vision that I regularly go to. And so seeing those threads tangle all around me, pulling on me, and some of them, like in the dream, were almost a little bit frayed and a bit rotted. And I had the thought of, I have done cord cuttings in the past for things that are more significant, things where I'm like, I definitely want to cut through. In years past, there have been a couple breakups that I've gone through where I have done some energetic work for my partners and immediately wanting that cut, right? Like, no, I'm a firm, like, okay, this is done. We need our space. Absolutely not. Cut all ties. I don't mess with that, really. So I immediately was like, okay, no, we're doing some cord cutting and we're going to do this whole situation. There was a bonfire level of cord cutting. It was great. And I remember having like these meditations and visions and thinking of like how hard it was actually to cut this cord. And when I mentioned before, a cord being made out of steel or metal of some kind, and how difficult that would be to really like get through. I had to like envision myself like hitting it over and over and over with an axe. And then eventually I feel like I used like just pure magical power in a sense to like cut through it. I was like, this feels like the best way to like get this off. And because I'm like, no, I don't want this energetic connection. Consider a banishment. What? I was like, gone. Absolutely not. Nope. And so having this anxiety dream of like all the weird cords that were around me, I immediately had to sit down when I woke up a few days later, and I was like, okay, no, that stressed me out so much. I almost want to just start fresh and think of this as a cut-off point. And I even then started considering, well, how is everyone else like casting out their magic, not as like a string or a cord that connects them for easy refurbishment, but also is there a level of just casting it out and now it lives over there, which is why it drains so quickly. There is a need to constantly reamp the sigils and spells and the little blessings in each corner, because yeah, it had a little bit of energy, it ran out of it, and now it needs to be recharged. As opposed to when it has a constant cord, oh, like that happens and I can, I don't know, kind of sense where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling very not exposed. What's the word I'm looking for? More suddenly the energy of the room around me feels empty. It doesn't feel tingly, vibration-y, I guess you could say, in my space, because I can sense, and like, oh yeah, there's something off with them. Like, I'm like, this, I need to put some time and attention back into my magic, into my protection spells, etc. And so I'm like reconsidering, I'm like, okay, what if it is more of a separate thing? One, because I feel like the advantages of that could be very well if someone ever attacked me, curse, hex-wise, what have you, and it hits one of those points, is there a way, because it's connected to the cord, it could travel to me, even though there was like a bounce back mechanism to that. I have put in some protections in place around that. My throw it back spells are quite spiky and fun. Well, fun for me, not fun for the person who attempted it, but you started it, so that's on you. So there are other protections in place, but it's like, oh no, is there an extra safety mechanism with it being a separate energetic thing? So I've been kind of wondering, how are other people, when you're envisioning casting your magic, is it kind of feel like you cast it off into the world and it is this entirely separate thing for you? Because part of me also, when I'm thinking of blessings or things that I want to like invoke out into the world, I think of it kind of like as like a fishing rod, right? Like I'm casting it out into the universe, but I want the universe to see its clear way back to me. Like I want to be able to like reel that in, one, to collect whatever energies I have caught, but also the concept of maybe I want to change my mind. Maybe I'm like, oh no, I need to recast that. I need to send it out separately. So reel it back in and redo it, because absolutely not. That's what I want has changed or has become more refined. And so I want to adjust the spell in some way. And so I feel like that energetic tie is very useful for that. Other times I'm like, yeah, there are this like negative consequence. Like, what if you end up catching something and pulling something back to you that you weren't wanting or expecting? That could be a problem. And two, there is this level of between friends, family, being open and out as a witch with everyone in my life. It is funny how many people are like, do a spell for me, do a tarot reading for me, do something like which is great, and I openly do it. But there's times where I'm like, oh, how many threads are out there and how draining is that if I'm connected to all these people? And so I think what I'm going to do, by the time you see this video, it shall have been done, is cut all the cords. It is a full severing, a full reset, which I think would be very fun to open up October with, which is a full energetic, okay, kind of clear the slate energetically, cut all the things, reevaluate where is my biggest priority needed, and slowly build back up the energetic connections and or spells that I want to actually have be a sort of tie situation versus a more cast out and there's no direct connection. It's just kind of sitting there by itself, and it will be recharged upon needing. Anyway, I would love to know how all you guys envision your spells and energetic markers. Like, are you seeing it like a cord like I am and there's a bunch of cords tied to you? Or is it more of like, nope, that thing's over there now. That's that little talisman. It's in that section of the world. And it is no direct connection to me whatsoever until you go back and like it's more like a jar. You know what I mean? Like a little energetic jar. You're like, I put my intention into this. I put it over there. That's where it sits. As opposed to a whole bunch of tangle of threads. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little spider just getting all muddled up in my own little web. So anyway, that was today's video. There will be more and more videos because Utober is here. So what does that mean? A video every single day. If you have suggestions, please comment those down below and I will of course do some. I've already gotten a couple of comments on older videos as I've gone back through, and so I am doing fun things like little apartment tours. I'm definitely going to be talking about my creative process and fun things like that. So stick around for more of that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay? Bye-bye.